You're watching Durango News, celebrating Southwest Colorado every day.
Planning for the long-awaited trail connection to Three Springs is underway. Where would you like to see the trail go?
Fort Lewis College alumni bring the boom back to Skyhawk football games.
And 2 local car mechanics hope to join the 200 Club at the Bonneville Salt Flats this summer. Learn more about their plans to race their souped-up Camaro on this edition of Durango TV News. I'm Ashley Dixon.
And I'm Jordan Alexander. We'll return after the break.
This program is brought to you by Advantage Dodge Ram Chrysler Jeep at 20th and Main in Farmington. Visit today for your best deal.
You're watching Durango TV News. I'm Jordan Alexander.
And I'm Ashley Dixon. In May, it was the snow. In June, the rains. Both contributed to near flood conditions on the Animas, Florida, and Pine River drainages in early June. The Animas River actually flooded its banks in the North Animas Valley on June 11th, and properties downstream from Lemon and Vallecito dams saw flood conditions in fields and pastures as dam operators release water to prevent the reservoirs from overflowing. Butch Knowlton, director of the La Plata County Office of Emergency Management, said local agencies worked closely to monitor rain and snowmelt and manage water levels in the reservoir. Animas River rafters and kayakers were advised to portage their crafts around Smelter Rapids, where the city of Durango had installed rock barriers for a whitewater park. More experienced river rats took advantage of the high water to surf the holes and play in the rapids. As the Animas River was peaking at 6,700 cubic feet per second on the afternoon of June 11th, the Florida and Pine irrigation districts were releasing the maximum amount of water possible without flooding downstream communities. Knowlton said the reservoirs had been filled to near capacity to ensure adequate irrigation water after the dry winter. And because they were full, they didn't have much room for the snow and rain accumulations that followed in May and June.
Reservoir levels down. One thing that those operators did not want was an uncontrolled release of water from those structures over the spillway and therefore going down through the streams in the Florida and Pine River drainages. So, had to release large volumes of water that people haven't seen, property owners haven't seen along those streams in years and years. And so it was a controlled flood, I think is what we would probably call it. But they did an excellent job of balancing and trying to mitigate those large volumes of water that we might have seen if we had not taken the precautions and the actions that we did.
While the Animas River flows are subsiding, dangers of flooding still exist. Snowtel sites in the San Juan Mountains report near normal snowpack levels, and the National Weather Service is predicting continued above-average precipitation for the summer. If heavy rains hit the snow in the higher elevations, we could see river levels rising once again.
The trail connection from River Road to Three Springs took another step towards reality this spring. The City of Durango recently received a $400,000 grant from the Federal Transit Administration to complete the design on a route that will connect the Animas River Trail from its terminus at the Escalante Bridge to the trail system in Three Springs. But before the city can get started on the design, it wants to find out exactly what route the trail should follow. You'll have a chance to weigh in on the topic at the annual Community Forum and Bike Fashion Show from 5 to 7 p.m. on Tuesday, June 23rd at Carver's Brewing Company on Main Avenue. The forum is part of the Clean Commute Week that begins on Monday, June 20th. Hall couldn't say when the connection from the Animas River Trail would be completed, but he expected the design phase to be wrapped up by the end of the year.
It's a little uncertain. I mean, we take these a step at a time, and the first step is really getting a design for an alignment determined, and that will allow us to determine the cost of the project and a budgeting process that would allow us to move forward.
In the meantime, construction to connect the existing Three Springs trail system to the section of trail underneath the bridge to nowhere is expected to begin this summer. Hall said the $2.2 million project will be funded entirely by grants. The extension from River Road to Three Springs will add 2 miles to the Animas River Trail, and the current trail is about 7 miles long. For more about the Animas River Trail meeting during Clean Commute Week, log on to the city's website at durangogov.org.
And I think we should maybe rename the bridge to nowhere, because I think it will soon be a bridge to somewhere into the future, because the Colorado Department of Transportation finally has all the approvals in place to connect the exchange to Highway 550. So we'll have to think of something new and witty here in Durango to say.
I remember when I first came to this beautiful little town and I saw that bridge, I drove straight underneath it and it went nowhere.
So it's been true to its name so far.
It's going somewhere finally.
While CDOT looks to the future, Fort Lewis College has revived a bit of its past. The Fort Lewis College Alumni Association raised $7,000 to refurbish the Civil War-era Parrott rifle cannon that was fired at Fort Lewis College football games since the 1970s. It was donated to the college by the late Everett Scoop Waddell, the former manager of Central Stores. A few years ago, the cannon barrel cracked and the cannon was retired. The cannon will return this fall to mark the beginning and end of every home football game, and when the Skyhawks score a touchdown. We headed up to the campus earlier this month to join Alumni Relations Director Dave Kearns while a new team of volunteers learned how to fire the cannon.
So this is the Fort Lewis College cannon that we brought back. After 2 years of jumping through some hoops and fundraising, we have the cannon back on campus. So the cannon was fired off at the beginning of every football game, the end of every football game, and every time the Skyhawks scored. So we couldn't guarantee that the barrel was of sound quality, so it was easier to go out and get a new cannon than repair the old barrel. So we raised $7,500 from 36 different donors, gifts ranging from $10 all the way up to $1,500. People really have a fond memory of this cannon.
After the break, Roger Zalnaritis interviews Crossfire Aggregate for his report for the La Plata County Economic Development Alliance.
This program is brought to you by Advantage Dodge Ram Chrysler Jeep at 20th and Main in Farmington. Visit today for your best deal.
Animas Surgical Hospital, the best care in the Four Corners.
Our hospital ranks in the top 1% of hospitals nationwide.
More nurses per patient and our manageable size leads to better patient outcomes.
The ER is open 24/7 with short waits. I need that with 3 kids.
My patients appreciate everything in one place. ER, labs, imaging, surgeries, and pharmacy, and just minutes from downtown Durango.
Personal care, better results. Animas Surgical Hospital.
Go underground with the Old 100 Gold Mine Tour, a fun and exciting look at gold mining in Silverton. This is an authentic gold mine, and the tour includes a train ride and mining demonstrations. The Old 100 Mine Tour runs 7 days a week with hourly tours, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And for gold and silver as long as you like, and keep what you find. Take a scenic drive north to historic Silverton and the Old 100 Gold Mine Tour.
Boom!
Watch me.
And me on MeTV. I'm Jordan Alexander.
And I'm Ashley Dixon, bringing you upbeat, positive news stories from Southwest Colorado with Durango TV News.
Catch Durango TV News on MeTV every week at 9 p.m. Thursdays and 8:30 a.m. Sundays over cable, satellite, DirecTV, or on the air.
So catch us both by tuning into Durango TV News, bringing you upbeat stories every week on MeTV.
Experience Southwest Colorado's premier classical music festival at Music in the Mountains, July 12th through August 2nd. Enjoy world-class music in a variety of beautiful venues such as the Festival Tent at Purgatory, local parks, the Glacier Club, and the Community Concert Hall. See the festival orchestra with featured soloists, chamber ensembles for more intimate settings, free masterclasses, and pre-concert lectures. The 2015 season schedule and tickets are available online at musicinthemountains.com or at the festival office at 1063 Main Avenue in Durango, Colorado. This segment is brought to you by Express Employment, your locally owned and operated staffing company, respecting people, impacting business.
All right. Hello everybody, it's great to be back with you today highlighting some more businesses here in La Plata County that are growing in our community. I'm here today with a couple of folks from Crossfire. If you want to introduce yourselves, please.
I'm Deb Koenig. I am the Permit and Regulatory Compliance Manager for Crossfire Aggregate. I have lived in La Plata County for right about 40 years now.
Wow.
I have 2 grown adult children, 1 grandchild. I enjoy working for Crossfire Aggregate. It's sort of a little new direction for me. I come from a regulatory compliance background and a natural resource management background.
Cool. And Jay?
I'm Jay Nielsen. I'm the General Manager of Crossfire Aggregate Services. I've been in La Plata County for about 13 years now and came to Crossfire about 3 years ago, Crossfire Aggregate 3 years ago. I got a young family here in La Plata County, 2 children in the school system, and look forward to working with a lot of the people here in the county.
Great, we can talk schools later, so I'm going into that. So tell us a little bit about Crossfire and the background of the company, if you don't mind.
Crossfire was began about 2001 by Ezra Lee, and He had a partner at that time. Ezra kind of started as a young entrepreneur and had foresight to grow and become larger and larger. He began working, I think the first thing he did was working on the Missionary Ridge fire.
Really?
He had a water truck that he acquired through some family and brought it to the fire. And
wow.
The rehab team that came into the fire recognized local people, and there he was, and he saw a need for the seeding and reclamation part of the business. As that grew, he provided services to the oil and gas companies in the county and has never been afraid to take a risk and keep growing. And here we are today with Crossfire Aggregate because he continued to see the need and take more risk for us.
So Crossfire Aggregate's a new part of Crossfire?
It is. I'll let Jay tell you about Crossfire Aggregate.
We started out as a division of Crossfire in 2012, and as we grew that side of the business, the gravel side of it, we split off, and now we're our own LLC. So it's Crossfire Aggregate Services LLC. Great. And we operate as such.
So when we talk about Crossfire, is the total employees Crossfire has is what, 400 in the county or something like that? Is that?
I believe the last count we were close to around 600 in La Plata County and roughly 1,500 nationwide.
So that makes you one of the biggest employers. It makes Crossfire one of the biggest employers here. Crossfire Aggregate is a separate company. You've got your own employees now. What does Crossfire Aggregate do?
We provide.
What is aggregate? I could probably
aggregate, sand, gravel, concrete, any of your aggregates to produce concrete.
Okay.
So we produce sand and gravel products around the county and in northern New Mexico. Mm-hmm. We also have a gravel pit in Nunn, Colorado, and Lamar. So we are on the front range of Colorado as well.
Okay.
But the majority of our business is done in the Four Corners area, predominantly Archuleta and La Plata counties.
Okay. And so you produce cement, sand, other things like that. And what are you working on right now? How many, you've got gravel pits, I assume, then around the area?
Yes. We have 4 gravel pits right here locally. Mm-hmm. And our batch plant is over in Pagosa Springs.
Okay.
We have a new gravel pit going in on the south end of the county down on County Road 213 and 550.
Okay.
It's the newest gravel pit we're working on to help service the 550 corridor, the southern end of the county, and potentially the northern part of New Mexico. Looking at maybe having potentially 20 to 25 employees in that gravel pit over time, not right off the bat, but we'll grow into that. And Deb, you have anything further on that?
Yeah, you know, we've been working on this project now for a little over a year. Mm-hmm. We put a lot of consideration into naturally any kind of impacts it might make to the area. We've I think done a very good job remediating some of the impacts.
Well, one thing I'm wondering, for example, you says at 213 and 550, so is it down in the river corridor?
No, it'll be up on the mesa, up above the historic Bonds Ranch. And some of the issues that we felt like we really needed to mitigate was a vegetative buffer along that entire mesa. So in other words, we'll construct back offset from the rim and use that natural vegetation as a buffer for sight and sound issues. We have a road coming off of there, which we'll also work very hard at trying to mitigate any issues that might come with that road, dust, traffic. We'll make some road improvements on both 213 and Highway 550 to make them much safer.
Oh, great. Well, thanks for being with us here today. And again, I'm Roger. I'm the Director of the Economic Development Alliance. If you've got any questions about Crossfire or other companies here, feel free to give us a call at 259-1700. Thank you.
Local students recently learned that computer gaming skills could come in handy one day, especially if they plan to become orthopedic surgeons. Animas orthopedic surgeon Brinston Phipps recently demonstrated Animas Hospital's new robotic arm to a group of area students attending the second annual Health Careers Fair hosted by the Southwest Colorado Area Health Education Center. And several students had a unique opportunity to operate the robotic arm themselves. The arm is part of a state-of-the-art orthopedic surgical system that uses computer and robotic technology to grind away cartilage and bone to prepare the knee or hip joint for an artificial implant. It's used to treat osteoarthritis. The technology uses CT scans to create a 3-dimensional model of the patient's knee or hip. The surgeon plans a surgery based on the patient's unique anatomy and then uses software to precisely guide the robotic arm to resurface the knee joint. It's called the rear robotic arm. interactive orthopedic system, and it's one of only a handful of robotic arms in Colorado and the only one in the region. One student joked during the demonstration that his computer gaming skills gave him an advantage over the surgeon at operating the robotic arm. The Animas Hospital visit was one of many activities developed for students interested in health careers. The 3-day health camp included a career fair, participation in a mock trauma emergency, and shadowing local healthcare professionals. Kathleen McInnes, director of the Southwest Colorado Area Health Education Center, said the camps help recruit new professionals into health careers.
Gosh, we have been so busy. The point is to get kids excited about health careers. We want them to get excited about all of the possibilities, figure out their pathway, go get trained and come back to their home communities to provide quality health services in our area.
McInnes said that the San Luis Valley Health Education Center in Alamosa has been hosting a similar career camp for 30 years. Surveys indicated that 46% of adults who had attended the camp as students were working in the health professions. The experience also had an added benefit.
And 100% of the students who have participated over the last 30 years also graduated from high school.
If you'd like to know more about next year's health camps, visit the Health Education Center's website at swcahec.org. After the break, the spirit of Durango.
This segment is brought to you by Express Employment, your locally owned and operated staffing company, respecting people, impacting business.
I didn't just want another job, I wanted a career, so I expressed myself.
I was new to town and I didn't know where to turn for a job, so I decided to express myself.
I decided to express myself, and they helped find the right career for me.
Express Employment Professionals is in contact with thousands of companies in need of quality employees. Come in now and get the job you deserve.
Express yourself today.
Candace Jeep has a busy schedule. She runs an audiology practice in Durango. It's not easy running your own business. That's why she chooses to bank at Alpine Bank. Being able to make business deposits without stepping out of the office saves time. And she loves how the Alpine Bank mobile app makes it easy to keep track of personal finances from anywhere, giving Candace the freedom to focus on what really matters. Alpine Bank in downtown Durango and Three Springs.
It's our Drive and Discover event at Advantage Dodge Ram Chrysler Jeep in Farmington. Purchase a tough and economical 2015 Ram 1500, now just $265 per month. Save over $12,000 on a 2015 Ram 3500 Longhorn and make no payments for 90 days. Drive a stylish 2015 Chrysler 200, just $198 per month. Want a Jeep? Here's a 2015 Jeep Patriot Sport 4x4, only $199 per month.
Visit Advantage Dodge Ram Chrysler Jeep in Farmington or click AdvantageDodge.com.
Your home. It's made of wood and nails, doors and windows, but it's more than that. Your home is you. It's who you are, where you're from. It's what you long for whenever you're away. And it's the only place in the world that you know for certain, your home.
This program is brought to you by the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad, carrying passengers behind authentic steam engines since 1882. Now it's time to find the fun in Southwest Colorado.
You're watching Durango TV News. I'm Jordan Alexander.
And I'm Ashley Dixon. If you had a bucket list, what would you do? If you're Jim Hutchins and John Lemansky, you'd want to join the 200 Club. That's the 200-mile-an-hour club at the Bonneville Salt Flats this summer. Hutchins and Lemansky, both retired and in their 70s, rebuilt a 1967 Camaro and hope to break a speed record by driving the classic car over 250 miles an hour at the Bonneville Speed Races this summer. Here's their story.
Well, we bought or built this car for the last 2.5 years to take it to the Bonneville Salt Flats in Utah. Bonneville Salt Flats, if you don't know, is one of 2 places in the world that you can go for land speed records annually. We've been going up to Bonneville spectators for the last few years. The reason they picked Bonneville for land speed records is because it is so flat. Thought it would be a good bucket list for Jim and I to build a car. So we started it out 2.5 years ago. Well, this car was behind this shop, and the owner of the shop had purchased it to restore it just as a street car. And as you can see with the car, it's in a near stock condition. It must run headlights, taillights, bumpers. It has to be a steel-bodied car, and it has to be all in an original condition. It has dual fire systems. It has a fire bottle that takes care of the engine compartment in case there's a fire that's switched on by the driver. There's also a fire bottle for the interior of the car that if the fire gets to the interior, you can switch that and it'll put the fire out.
This engine here is a 500 cubic inch Mark IV Chevy big block. The pan doesn't hold any oil. This is where all the oil is in this can here. And we have a special pump that is belt driven that pumps it through the engine. We specially built these headers out of stainless steel. We redid the front suspension. It's got adjustable A-arms where we can adjust the caster and camber. These switches here are for the electrical, fuel, and water. This is the starter switch. This is the air shifted for the 4-speed transmission. It's a special belt transmission by B&J Racing Transmissions. This one up here is a parachute. It's a special built fuel cell. It's got if the car ever did wreck, tipped over, it's got where fuel won't go out anywhere. The batteries mount right here. This is an inertia switch that will shut off all the electrical to the fuel pump, especially the fuel pump, and the electronics on the engine if it does crash.
Here's what we know. We know we could crash. So we build it where we want that.
Hutchins, Lemansky, and the Spirit of Durango will be at the annual Durango Motor Expo on Saturday, June 20th in downtown Durango. Or you can visit their website at spiritofdurango.com.
I go out walking after midnight, out in the moonlight, just like we used to do. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you.
She's been called the female Elvis Presley of country music, and Patsy Cline will be singing her hits as part of the 5th anniversary revival of Always Patsy Cline at the Durango's Arts Center. Always Patsy Cline stars Texas actor Tracy Lynn Thomas as Patsy and Durango actor Mary Ellen Cerrone as Louise Seeger. Seeger was a rabid Patsy Cline fan who by chance met Patsy at a concert in Houston and became a friend of the iconic country singer. The play occurs after Cline's tragic death in a plane crash at the age of 30. Louise reminisces about her friendship with Patsy as Patsy appears in and out of her memories to sing her famous hits. Durango TV News recently interviewed the two actresses.
Well, I think that Patsy Cline is one of the best country western singers and an icon for generations.
Bless your heart.
And I think that people need to know not just Patsy Cline's beautiful music, but the story of our friendship.
Well, I think people need to know how sweet you are, Louise.
Oh.
I mean, this woman, she negotiated my contract for the gig out in Houston. You
By
did that for
telling
me.
some lies. Just a couple little white lies I told.
No, this woman has the biggest heart in Texas, and I'd like for everybody to come and see and meet her and let her know and let everybody know about her.
Curtains open on Always Patsy Cline on June 18th. The play runs through June 28th with matinee performances on Sundays. For schedules and ticket information, visit the Durango Arts Center website at durangoarts.org.
If you're looking for entertainment that's more classical in nature, consider a night of Shakespeare under the stars. Merrily Players of Durango will present Shakespeare's comedic classic Much Ado About Nothing on the lawn of the James Ranch, located about 11 miles north of Durango on U.S. Highway 550. The play runs from June 19th through June 27th. The venue isn't the only unique aspect of this performance, it's the cast. Director Mona Wood Patterson has assembled the cast of her former Durango High School theater students to perform Much Ado. All the actors worked with Wood Patterson during her tenure as theater director and teacher at Durango High School, and they're all now working as professional actors throughout the country. The Pattersons started their theater program to give young professionals an opportunity to perform and build their resumes. And it also gives Wood Patterson a chance to reunite with her students.
To have these people back that I've known since they were 14, over a span of my first year as a theater director at Durango High School, Dina graduated. The last year that I was a theater director at Durango High School, Naomi graduated. So it spans my whole career. And when we, as Merrily Players, part of our mission has always been to try to help people build up their resumes, as well as to bring back to the community so they can see what good work our homegrown actors are doing.
Wood Patterson said performing outdoors poses its special challenges. Without an enclosed theater, actors must wear microphones, the weather becomes a part of the play, and then there's the free-range rooster crowing in the background and the baby goats bleating nearby. But it's all part of the fun. If you go, the Pattersons encourage you to come early, order dinner from the James Ranch Market, bring warm clothes, and settle in to enjoy a professional production with professional actors against the scenic backdrop of the James Ranch. For ticket information and schedule, visit the Merrily Players website at merrilyplayers.us. That wraps up this edition of Durango TV News. Thanks for joining us. And be sure to tune in next week when Jordan challenges his balance on a paddleboard. And we visit with two computer nerds who left their jobs in Denver to start a business selling fun. You're going to have fun with that one, right?
That's the first thing I've heard about that.
Oh, exciting.
Our new producer, Deborah, always likes to surprise me.
Exactly. You'll have fun.
Yes. And for more about what's happening in Durango, go to what'shappeningdurango.com. Post your free event today and join the one-stop, easy-to-use local community event calendar for Durango. I'm Jordan Alexander.
And I'm Ashley Dixon. Be sure to log on to DurangoTV.com for more local programming. Thanks for watching Durango TV, where we celebrate Southwest Colorado every day.
This program is brought to you by the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad, carrying passengers behind authentic steam engines since 1882.